from Paris, Kentucky. I grew up on the west side. Historically, it would be called the colored side of town. Bourbon County grew tobacco, so we had lots of enslaved Africans who lived in the county. And after the end of the Civil War, many remained here because it was a segregated community. African Americans were relegated to certain sides of the town, like the west side. It was a community where everybody was striving to do better.
Y'all can do better than that. Y'all act like God ain't do nothing for you. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so.
When I was a little girl in the West Side, everybody's house was painted. The lawns were cut. There were flowers, and it was just a beautiful neighborhood.
It's clear when you look at the maps that at one point in time, the Westside neighborhood was a thriving community. There has been an obvious decline in the quality of life.
In the same year that the Voting Rights Act was signed, the West Side community of Paris, Kentucky, had an incinerator placed in it.
You would see this cloud of black smoke. I don't know as a child what they were burning, but whatever they were burning smelled terrible.
The thing about this incinerator, as a brownfield site, it's not entirely clear what was being burnt, and so all of that material goes somewhere, into the soil, into the water.
Low-income Black and Latino neighborhoods are typically those that are targeted for these types of uses.
I knew the neighborhood, but it didn't register with me for many years that there was a transfer station / dump in the neighborhood.
That area was called Fairview for a reason. People had a fair view of the creek, the land, and to place a dump there tells you that people did not consider the folk who were over there, that their properties were worth much, and that they were worth much. I will always remember our community having a sense of you can't fight City Hall, and that they were essentially powerless. I was just so frustrated with the West Side, and I wanted to do something for my community. So I ran for city government. When I was campaigning, I stopped by Vanessa Logan's porch to ask her to put a sign in her yard.
We were talking about how the neighborhood had just gone down and that there needed to be changes.
It was just not a sense of a whole lot of opportunity for you, and the older people already knew that the die had been cast, so that's what they were stuck with, and so they just lived with it.
This is a place where anybody can go, purchase a home, and live comfortably. That's what I remember the West Side as being, and that's what I want it to be.
October the 2nd, 2019 was the first meeting of the Westside Neighborhood Association, and there was a room full of concerned citizens from the West Side who showed up that night. There is safety in numbers, and if many of us come together, then nobody can shut us up.
The people got very excited about this process. After Anna became commissioner, she brought all the right people to the table at the right time for people to care about wanting to do something on the West Side.
Whenever you're going to do something, you need allies. You need people who are influential and who know people who are decision makers. And Bill Alverson is that person for us.
There was no way of not seeing that it was the right thing to do, that nobody would want that in their backyard. Through these meetings, Anna Edwards introduced me to Vanessa Logan. It just started building, and we started inviting people to come to meetings. Our meetings just kept growing and growing and growing.
Over the course of that time, the neighborhood met over 50 times. That gives you an idea of how committed the neighborhood was.
But the process has been challenging at times, getting everybody on board and keeping them on board.
There were folks who literally said things like, leave it over there. It's nothing but a bunch of raggedy houses over there anyway. There are some people who don't understand that injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere.
Bill reached out to Groundwork USA to assist the community in getting more organized and to help them turn their vision of closing down the town dump and converting it into some community asset.
This is a great project and a much needed one. So today, I'm awarding the City of Paris $2 million in community development block grant funding to get this done.
I see a big difference. Things are beginning to happen.
Yeah.
And I never thought that I would live long enough to see it. But we always wondered what would happen if they take all this junk out of Fairview. That's all we thought about. And now it's becoming reality.
Girls, what's going on? We went from door to door and we talked to people. We decided to do a survey of what the neighborhood would like to see the transfer station be to repurpose it. So they wanted access to the waterway down there. They wanted playgrounds and shelters.
We've been authorized by EPA to conduct the remaining site assessment. We're going to find out if there's any contamination or not.
Through our Brownfields Technical Assistance Program at Groundwork USA, we work with communities to help them create a vision for what the future of the community can look like.
We anticipate in early 2025, we will be cutting the ribbon on the new location, which we're very excited about. We have a real chance here to make a plan for the future.
One of the most inspiring things about this engagement is that it has been led by an intergenerational, interracial group of residents that knew that they needed to work together to correct a legacy of injustice that was placed in the Westside neighborhood in 1965.
We're in a new day, can't rewrite the past, but we can sure make it better going forward, where somebody will say, my goodness, how'd they do that in little old Paris, Kentucky?
I hope that the legacy for our community will be that there once was a powerful people and that their voices actually made a difference.